Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing someone who is not only redefining leadership in the corporate space, but rewriting the rules for how women rise with power and softness. Leigh-Anne Harrison is a force in the world of feminine leadership, and after 2 decades in corporate construction world, where she scaled and led a 9-figure commercial general contractor in Arizona, she made the bold leap to start her own coaching business, the 5D Frequency. Through her signature hard hats and heels movement, she is helping women reclaim their magic in male-dominated industries, showing them that softness, joy, and success are not mutually exclusive. And she now mentors high-performing women, execs, managers, and CEOs to step into their next level of influence. I cannot wait to share her wisdom and her magic with you. I think she's joining here. Let me add her in. Leigh-Anne. So, in today's conversation, in today's live, we are diving in to this new wave of feminine leadership that is flooding the planet. And if you are a corporate woman and you're thinking, actually, I am so ready to join this table and to really enjoy my life and build something powerful, then you don't want to miss this conversation. Right, why isn't this working? Let's add you in, Leigh-Anne. Leigh-Anne, can you send me a request to join? Here she is.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Queen. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, it's so good to see you.
I'm so happy to have you here inside of this space, and we have some amazing things to get involved with. You're going to love this conversation and want to be part of something special. So soon we have coming up our Queen's Energy Leadership Summit. I was going to say it's
Yes.
on the 17th of October, but the party has already started. Do you want to tell us a bit more about this?
Yes, so Queen Energy is a leadership summit for women to come together, and it's really a space for us to rise together. And so I wanted to create a space where women could step into their magic in a safe, vulnerable place where they could really, really activate their queen energy through the lens of a lot of different modalities, not only business, but pleasure, but money and abundance and self-expression. And so
Mm.
this is a really special day for us all to come together and like Katie mentioned, the Telegram portal is open. The pre-party is here. If you want to join the magic, it's not too late. We would absolutely love to have you in the room.
Totally. So we're going live on the 17th of October for the full day. There's 7 speakers. There's another few experts coming in. It's basically a full immersive day of workshops so that you get to hit your queen energy from so many different angles. And inside the Telegram chat, the speakers are already inside there dropping some magic, dropping some free resources. It is such a potent space to be in. So I'm really excited for this.
So grateful to have your magic and you as one of our incredible speakers. Katie's actually speaking to the jewel of having it all. And so the concept of this event is it's based on the Queen's crown. And every point of the crown is a different jewel. And Katie's jewel is the jewel of having it all. And so
Oh,
excited for her to bring her magic to the room because we all desire to have it all, right? Who doesn't?
yeah. Yeah, and when I heard your story, I so resonated and with this movement that you're leading because I'll be honest, like love feminism. I love how far this has brought us in our lives and the rights that we have and everything, but we need a new model for feminism where we're not stuck in masculine and trying to compete and chase, and it just takes us totally out of our feminine, which is where so much of our power is. But I think what's happened is that a lot of women create this misunderstanding that either I have to choose between success and love. I can't have it all. Men are intimidated by my success, and I can't have my success in a feminine way. I need to fight for it or like be very, yeah, more in this masculine energy for it. That then it's difficult to switch out of that and into a different lens with love. And so the leadership in that space, it kind of works to some extent when you lead like that in business, in work, but it doesn't work in love. And then it ends up with women creating this misunderstanding of, well, I guess I just have to choose, but I don't want to diminish my power. So I'm going to choose to sacrifice love. And oh, one of the best things about being a human is loving. So yeah, I'm so excited
Yeah.
to share more on this with everyone.
Yeah, me too, girl. It's going to be incredible. And, I so resonate with what you said because for so long when I was in the corporate world, I thought that I had to choose between my family and
Yeah.
vacations and climbing the corporate ladder. And I had so much shame around this for so long about choosing my career for a lot of the time. Like I felt
Mm,
like I wasn't going to grow in the organization or earn my seat at the table if I didn't work around the clock. And there were many
hmm
times where, I picked my career over, the kids' event or something like that. And I feel like so many women have done that. And this really is the time where we get to show the world a new way that you
Yeah.
don't have to do that. And it's so beautiful that, you're bringing this lens to the event on Friday.
Yes. And I would love to hear more of your story as well, because it is incredible. Can you share with people more the journey that you've been through in terms of how it was before, how you moved into more of the feminine space and how that's working? And I think a lot of people that they might get this idea of, okay, feminine energy might be fine for coaching, but it doesn't work for my industry because I'm a lawyer or I'm in corporate or I'm doing this. So I would love to hear more of your perspective on these.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, so I actually started my career in construction at 20 years old. I had my first son, or my only biological son, at 19. He was born at 20
Wow.
weeks, so he was super little. He was only 2 pounds. And
God.
shortly after having him, I got a job as a receptionist for a construction company. And back then, I don't know if you're familiar, but in the States, they have this online platform called Craigslist, and you can buy and sell things. But back then, you could also go there, and that's where you would apply for a job. So I applied for some random job. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I needed a job, and it happened to be a receptionist job at a general contractor, a small construction company. And so, what was really nice about this job was that the owner believed in me and allowed me to diversify into a lot of different things and really be like his right hand woman. And so, in a lot of
Mm,
jobs before that, I would get bored super easily. And so, this was exciting for me and this was fun for me. And so, soon I wasn't a receptionist anymore. I was a project coordinator and then a project manager. And I kind of rose through the ranks. But what I learned early on was that I was working in a male dominated industry and I
yeah,
was treated so differently. The guys would go out and have their cigar circles and, meet around their motorcycles. And I learned fast that that's where the decisions were happening.
yeah.
And that's where the bold moves were happening there and on the golf course. And so, for so long in my career, I learned to blend in and almost act like one of the guys, to be honest. And it took me
Mm,
a long time to break that. So, shortly after I worked at that company, rose through the ranks as a project manager. Then I was in pre construction. Then, here in the States, in around '07, '08, the market crashed.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if I don't start bringing work in and start doing business development and marketing, I'm not going to have a job. So I learned that lens of the industry. And soon I landed my dream job at a bigger organization, and the culture was incredible. The people were great. I was so excited to be there. And then it really hit me even more so that men were treated differently because now I was in a space where there were men that were my same age that were rising in the ranks really fast and that had
Mm,
more access to leadership because they were having the beers at the restaurants after work. They were going on the golf course on Fridays.
yeah.
And I quickly learned that there was a different game that I, had to learn how to play.
Yeah.
And the game was turning my feminine on. And not only turning it on, but turning the volume so far up so that I could stand out, so I could lean into my softness. And soon I started, leading my projects from this space. And what happened was really surprising to a lot of people. Well, actually, let me backtrack. So I was at this company, and back in 14, I got the opportunity to lead a division, a satellite office in a small town. And so that's really when I started to turn my softness on, because I wasn't like around any of the other people in the company. I was like, literally, it was my husband and I by ourselves, and I could kind of do what I wanted, you know? So I turned my softness off and I was like, I'm going to bring a new perspective to the construction industry. Construction for so long had this old school paradigm of like conflict, of yelling and screaming. And I was like, I'm going to try something new. And so I brought that perspective to the organization. I brought that perspective to my projects. And
Wow.
over a 10-year period, the organization, that office scaled to multi nine figures. And I truly believe it was because, it was a new way of doing construction. It was, a
Mm.
softer way, a way that was more about community, about helping others rise, help working together,
Yeah.
collaborating. And it was like a fresher breath air, to be honest.
I love this so much. And I think, again, it's that space of often in male dominated industries, and I can totally resonate because I was the only woman on my team as a lawyer. When you are in that space, it's sometimes easy to disconnect from your magic. And it's like you've got this gift of your feminine magnetism, your feminine energetics, the polarity that you create. And that is so magnetic when you know how to use it. And often women are holding this huge gift and they're like, no, I should do it how they do it. I need to do it that way. So they kind of put this gift down, they don't use it, and they end up doing this work that is, you mentioned the word like earn your space at the table,
Mm-hmm.
proving, chasing, challenging, all of this stuff that's very masculine dynamic. And actually, it doesn't work so well for us. This is why you see a lot of women really burnt out. And they're like, it feels like it's working for them, especially when you see men rising ranks and doing it that way. But we have a different set of magic and skill sets that is so magnetic and is so powerful when we learn how to harness
Mm-hmm.
it.
Well, and it's so sneaky how some of those beliefs like creep back in,
Yeah.
like they're so subtle. And so what is so interesting, like I left the corporate world and I didn't realize that I was still holding on to some beliefs that had just like literally slid themselves back in. Like I didn't even know they were there until I left. And I was like, whoa, like you're still holding on to a few like trying, proving,
Mm.
chasing, hustle energy
Hmm.
that like really needs to go, or gets to go. And
Mm.
so some of those beliefs are super, super subtle. And I'll never forget a time I was back in Phoenix working for a company, and my boss for so long had told me, he's like, Leigh-Anne, you're just too much, and you got to be a chameleon. You got to blend in. And I never realized how damaging that was
Yeah.
until, a few years ago. And I was like, whoa, like that's kind of messed up, like to tell someone
Yeah.
not to be their full authentic expression. And soon I
Mm.
realized that, my full authentic expression is my magic.
Yeah.
And your vibe attracts your tribe, and you're going to attract the right people, and you're going to attract the right opportunities. And that's why it's so important, to be us and to be ourselves and to step into that magic.
Mm. It's this idea of power. And when your power isn't grounded, you're worried it's going to slip through your fingers, you're worried it's going to be taken away from you. So you're like, I've got to earn it, I've got to prove it, I've got to show that I can hold this, I've got to fight for it. And your power is like built on this house of cards that will just crumble at the
Yeah.
slightest shift, right? And
Hmm.
so it's like if you are chameleoning yourself and adapting yourself and doing all these
Shape
things because
shifting.
you're like, oh, this is how I hold my power. Nah, your power is like it's as inauthentic as your being. And it's
Yeah.
innocent because a lot of the time people don't realize that they're not being authentic, or they don't realize, they're just like, this is just the way things are done, right?
It's so
Or
subtle. Yeah.
yeah, or I'm finding who my authentic expression is as I am Katie the lawyer, or Leigh-Anne the construction industry expert, or like whatever it is. It's like, oh, I'm finding what that version of me is because it's not the same as me as a mom or me as a whatever. So people don't necessarily know they're not being authentic, but your body will be giving you the signs of it. And if you're feeling burnt
Totally.
out, exhausted, like you have to fight or prove or earn this power, then there's a good sign that you're probably not doing it in a way that feels authentic or that feels embodied. But when your power is there, it's like your authenticity is the most magnetic thing that you can be. We can actually measure the frequency of emotions. And for those of you who love manifesting, you want to manifest from a high frequency. So things like gratitude, pleasure, happiness, joy, like those are your high vibe magnetic frequencies. But the highest of all of them is actually authenticity. So when you can be
Mm,
embodied in that, and when you feel that sense of inner alignment as well, where it's like, oh, I do the thing, it feels good. I follow my desire, my devotion. These are very feminine, energetic points
yes.
versus the masculine of like drive, devote, like dedication, let's fucking go. Like when you're in that space. And like I say,
Yeah.
sometimes that can feel good, but we can get that balance of like, let me follow my pleasure, let me follow my fun, let me allow this to feel expansive in my body.
It's so juicy and just like honoring the divine feminine flow, like letting your energy do the work,
Yeah,
letting your energy do the heavy lifting. And I really feel like that's, a skill that you develop, as you're getting reps in. It's practice.
yeah,
And it's so fun that we get to bring that to the world and teach other women how to do that because it's not something that just comes naturally sometimes, because it's so ingrained in us, the hustle culture. And
mm-hmm.
especially like if you're still in the corporate world, you don't realize how burnt out you actually are until you go on like a month vacation, which a lot of people don't really truly have time to do, if they're in corporate. And until you like completely unplug, and then you're like, whoa, I have been so burnt out. And like, this is the real me. Like that
Yeah,
version, I don't know who she was. And so that's really beautiful if you can find the time and space to zoom out and to
mm,
just really, reimagine who you truly are. The hardest thing, honestly, when I left the corporate world was finding myself again.
yeah,
I had this identity, that had shaped me for so long in the corporate space. And when I left, it was, the hardest part about leaving was shedding that and shedding the identities and the imaginary constructs and the unspoken agreements and,
mm,
all the boundaries and the layers and the things that were morphed into this 20-year agreement with the corporate world. And
yeah,
it was wild, just the grieving and all of it, but also so beautiful.
yeah. Because what a gift to sometimes we need the duality of both, and then we get to
Mm-hmm.
really see it. And as you were speaking, I was thinking of this idea that we kind of titrate our nervous system slowly, in that
Mm-hmm.
we go through that, you're heading towards burnout. It's not like I'm fine one day and then the next day I'm like, oh God, no, I'm done now. Like
Yeah.
it's a process, and it's like bit by bit titrating every single day until you get to this space where you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? And like for me in my journey, I was in the pre-rock bottom phase for a long time. And that's the danger zone because it wasn't quite bad enough for me to change. And I thought, well, this is just the
Yeah.
industry. This is just how things are. And then when I hit my rock bottom, I'm like, oh no, this is absolutely not okay. But the beautiful thing with this as well is, yeah, you can titrate your nervous system to the bottom and slowly, 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 but you can also do it back up again. And suddenly you're in this place where you're
Yes.
like, oh my God, this is amazing. And, that's probably why both you and I are so passionate about sharing this. It's like, hey, come on this
Mm-hmm.
journey where we can titrate our way to magic and this real queen energy. And queen energy, it is grounded power, and it is feminine. You can have queen meets king energy, and it's not this fight or this battle for who holds the top dog position. It's like your power is so grounded. It's like, yeah, I can have power and you can have power too, and we can both hold our own.
Coexist.
There's no competition, right? Only
Yes.
collaboration. And this is a
Mm.
space which would have old me wouldn't have got this, right? Because the old me felt so unsafe to soften. Because I'm like, well, hang on, if I go into my feminine energy, I'm going to be kicked out the pack, right? Because, innately we want to be part of the tribe. And so if I'm the
Yes.
same as them, or if I'm like them, then to my nervous system, then I'm safe, then I'm protected. But if I do something
Mm-hmm.
different and I'm the queen, oh, I don't know, I might get rejected, right? So there's that piece. But the
So
the bigger
true.
piece was that I had this misunderstanding that feminine meant soft, it meant passive, it meant actually, if I let go, nothing's going to happen. Everything is going to crumble around me because, again, my power was on this deck of cards. So, can you speak to that about did you ever hold on to that belief and how did you overcome that to really lean into your feminine energy?
Yes. Scarlett, little babe, will you please give me a tissue?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, my nose is
Oh,
like starting to run. I'm like, please. She was so excited. She's like, can I please watch you go live? Can I please watch you?
oh, oh
I
my
know
God,
she's
this
the
is so
best.
cute.
um, okay. So I think your question was that you were asking if I ever held on to the belief that I had to do it all, essentially.
I think
Is
it's
that
more
what
the
you were
space
asking?
of, yeah, when you decided, like, actually, I'm going to try this new way of being where I am more in my feminine energy, was there a part of you that had some fear or some resistance around that come up of like, if I soften, I'm going to lose it all or anything like that? And how did
Yes.
you overcome that?
Oh my gosh, this question is so good. So, yes, I had the belief that I would lose control
Hmm.
if I shared responsibilities or if I let anyone else have do part of my job, part of my task. If I collaborated with certain people, I thought, I might lose control or a piece of toilet paper. Um, and it wasn't until 5 years ago 5 or 6 years ago, where something clicked and I was like, Leigh-Anne, if you want to like step into this next level of leadership, if you want to step into the CEO role, you
Hmm.
get to really lean into your softness and share and lead from the embodied place that you are the queen, that you own this energy, that there's no proving trying to climb. You're already there. Now it's about, a shift in perspective of helping others rise with you,
Mm,
and helping others, get to their next level of leadership. That's really the queen energy, right? The queen energy is like, yeah, you own and you embody, but how are you building others up so that they can stand side by side with you and be a queen as well? Like, there's room
yeah.
for multiple queens. Thanks, my love.
Mm,
And yeah, it was a really big shift in perspective of just shifting the fear of losing control
yeah.
and the fear of perfectionism. That was another thing. I wanted to hold on to it. Like, one, it was like control, and there was like a really shadowy dark side of it. But
Mm,
another part of it was like, it's not going to be perfect if I don't do it. Like, they don't know how to do it as
mm,
well as me. And so there were a lot of shadowy parts that just needed me to step in, lean in, and do the inner work. And as soon as I did, everything shifted
yeah.
and my relationships were stronger. I mean, I already had incredible relationships, but everything just got that much more juicy, and the frequency shifted like overnight. And that's one of my favorite things now to coach other women through, is helping them get into their next level of leadership through not doing more, but taking more aligned and intentional action,
Hmm.
delegating, finding their replacement so that they can step into this new level of leadership without sacrificing what they love. And also, like keeping corporate light and fun. Like, it doesn't have to be this dense, heavy place. It's a very stressful environment a lot of the time. So, how can you make it lighter and more pleasure and more fun and more high vibe? And so that was a huge shift for me as well.
Ah, yeah, beautiful. And one thing that I love that you shared is this idea of actually observing your thoughts and then being able to challenge them. And often when we are in this space of this drive and like push and hustle mentality, we're moving so fast that we don't get the opportunity to stop and question our thoughts because we'll just be guided by them so automatically. So when you
Mm-hmm.
can notice this sense of, oh, I have to do it all because no one will do it to my standard or nobody will get it done otherwise or whatever, I'll just do it myself because it'll take too long to explain it to someone else or whatever. Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, one way track to burnout in this space. And I think it was Brene Brown. I was reading her book recently, and she was saying, perfectionism is designed, it makes us think that it's protecting us from shame. And it actually is
Mm-hmm.
shame itself.
Yes,
It's
it's the
shame
enemy
in
of
this disguise.
progress.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
It's
Um,
it's really an interesting thing, to be honest.
mhm.
A lot of mindset work too.
Yeah. And it's this like, I do it all. I got it all. I can handle it all. It's like we think sometimes that's what makes us strong. It's what makes us powerful. And it's like, oh no, that's a trauma response, right? And your I
Yes.
can do it all, I got it all mentality and attitude, yes, we see this show up in business, and then we see it show up in relationship as well. I mean, if you're
Mm-hmm.
exercising it somewhere, you're probably exercising it everywhere. And then the thing that happens is when you are the I've got it all, I can do it all, then you aren't seeing other people around you in your power. Sorry, in their power, because you're imagining they're not as capable as me, they're not as efficient as me, they're not as good as me. I'm here, they're there, and you're accidentally creating this pedestal thing, which is not a very healthy relationship dynamic. And
Yeah,
then
and
you're
you're not
not,
building them up and helping them,
yeah,
step into their leadership, which,
exactly.
also is a gift for them to have that opportunity to show up and to prove themselves, kind of, not prove, but, step into their next level of leadership and to have their
Yeah.
next level of growth and transformation and breakthroughs. And
Mm,
sometimes, it's important to give your team the space to make mistakes, in
yes.
a loving, vulnerable environment. And that's like one of the things I was most proud of, in the corporate space that I was able to co-create was
Mm,
just the safety net of giving people the space to make mistakes and
yeah.
lay it on the table. Like, be real about it, be authentic about it. You're not getting in trouble, like there's this beautiful way vibe that's created when you can safely own your mistakes and
Mm,
grow from them without the fear of getting in trouble, of getting judged, of
yeah.
not being given another opportunity because you messed it up one time, And so it's so beautiful when you can create those spaces where people really feel safety in making
Mm,
mistakes and having
yeah.
those difficult conversations, that make us feel all icky in the body, but it's so funny that we put all this pressure on ourselves. But like, if we just open our hearts a little bit and remove the
Yeah.
pressure and have the conversations from that space, how our authenticity really speaks for itself.
Yeah, 100%. It's this idea of like people don't rise above the bar that we set for them. So while you're playing that
Mm-hmm.
game of imagining no one's as capable as you, no one as smart as you, no one's going to be as efficient as you, well, that's what you're going to
Right.
get, right? And then you end
Right.
up full of resentment and frustration of like, oh my God, I have to do everything. It's not,
And
it's
that
not
like
a very magnetic energy.
yeah, and a team that you're not surrounding yourself with. You want to surround
Yeah.
yourself with people that are smarter than you, and like a
Mm,
diverse room of people. But
yes.
if you are always the best one in the room, like that's not a very good room. Like I want to be
Yeah.
surrounded by people that are absolute stars, and that
Yes. And you'll miss the gifts in other people if you expect them to do everything as you do it or better than you do
yes,
it. So
yes.
yeah, and I work with the Enneagram a lot, and mostly I work with threes on the Enneagram. So I'll briefly go over that for those of you who don't know what this is. The Enneagram is a personality archetypal system. There's essentially 9 personality types, and you'll have a bit of everything, but you'll be one type more predominantly. And a lot of the time I work with the type 3, which is also me, which is the achiever. So the achievers, their kind of core desire, if you like, is success, is achievement. They
Mm-hmm.
so these are very like competent people, very efficient people, and then often we can pull in some of these misunderstandings in their belief system that we've spoken about. But their biggest
Mm-hmm.
fear is failure. This is the core fear that they hold. So in the way that you share about coming into leadership with these kind of people and changing the relationship that they have with failure by creating the safe space to be like, failure doesn't mean you get it wrong. Failure means we're going on this journey and you're going to learn as you do this. And we're not always going to go in a direct route because that's life. And then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I have permission to do this. I'm not going to be rejected. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world. You change the relationship that they have with their failure. This was a huge part of my journey because for
Mm-hmm.
me, I was so resistant to failure that I created the very thing I was avoiding because I didn't want to move, because I didn't want to fail. And then guess what? When you don't
Mm-hmm.
move,
You
there's only one
freeze and
outcome
nothing.
to that.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed to fail.
It's so true. Or like I love the way you phrase that. And I feel like perfectionism goes in that too. Like I had someone, I work with a lot of people over the years, and I was this person too for so long that if it wasn't perfect, I wouldn't get it out. Like
Mm,
I would freeze.
that's
And
the one on the
so
Enneagram.
yeah, yeah. And so my husband always jokes with me. He's like, Leigh-Anne, 92% is still an A. Like, get
Yeah.
it out, like get it on the street. I'm like, you're so right. And so that's, another thing, is like really like the empowering of your team and your people and your
Mm,
family, your friends, to take bold action, even if it's messy. Like there's a
mm,
beauty in like taking action and even when it's not perfect,
yeah.
and it's all growth. It's part of the journey.
Yeah, and that's it. So I talk about the powerful journeys for different parts of the Enneagram. And for the one who is the perfectionist, their powerful journey is this space of control to letting go. And letting go requires that softness, requires that feminine
Mm-hmm.
energy, requires that, I can be highly involved, but I can have low attachment to the outcome because I can trust the flow of life. I can trust the direction of it. And that's a tough journey. That requires, some rewiring,
Mm-hmm.
some work, which is why
Totally.
it is more than just, and I think a lot of, ones and threes and a lot of high achieving people, they live up in the mind because they think, oh, it's safe up
Mm-hmm.
here. I know what I'm doing up here. And if I can control life from this space, then I'm okay. But actually,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need more information. You need transformation. That comes from the Queen's Energy Leadership Summit. We're not just chatting at you for hours on end. There are some powerful integration practices, some transformation, the somatics of what we're doing. That means that the what you learn through this process is not just more information, it gets to be embodied change.
Yes, and I love how diverse the women are. These are women
Mm,
from all different spectrums, ranging from
yeah,
entrepreneurs, visionaries, corporate leaders, artists,
yeah,
and just the different perspectives and opinions in the room and the wisdom and the knowledge is literally like going to change people's life. And I love also how these women are literally perfectly aligned all over the globe. Like we have you in the UK, someone in Australia and Dubai and all over the States. And it's so beautiful that we're bringing all of these different perspectives and then also helping women realize, that their lives are miracles and that there's no limits on where they can take their life and no limits on their success and like
mm,
really empowering and inspiring them that the world needs them to be their full authentic expression and to share their gifts with the world. And what I'm so excited for is just this ripple that we're creating together that is not only going to flood the planet, but it's going to flood every single person that's on that call, their
yeah,
communities, the people they serve, their families, their friends. And that's what this is all about.
yeah. I'm going to run through some of the magic that we've got coming up in this space as well.
Yes.
And I see Joan's here. Hi, Joan. We love
Hi,
you.
Joan. So good to
By the way,
see you.
if anyone is listening to this and you want to ask questions, please drop it in the chat. Or if you're watching this on the replay or you're listening to this on the podcast and you want to ask questions or get involved, please reach out to either Leigh-Anne or myself. We'd be so happy to hear what's really landing in this episode with you, to share more about the Queen Energy Leadership Summit. And we hope to see you there. The tickets, by the way, are absolutely free, which is wild. It's unheard of. I haven't seen another event like this with the level of diversity and industry leaders really taking the stage to share their magic with you. So, yeah, you want to get involved in this space. If you haven't already got your ticket, you can click the link in my bio. All the details are there. But to share with you a bit about what's coming up, we've got the Jewel of Money and
Wait, drum roll.
Abundance.
Drum roll. Okay.
Actually, do you want to go through and share with us, or do you want me to?
No, go ahead. You're good.
Okay. Okay. So, like Leigh-Anne said, there are seven jewels, the seven jewels of the crown. And we have Danielle Amos coming in. She's sharing with us the jewel of money and abundance to help us to step into limitless financial flow and abundance consciousness. We have Annalise Cherie. She's sharing with us the jewel of natural healing, awakening the body's innate wisdom and stepping into radiant vitality. joining us, and she is. Um, can you share with me what Ajna is sharing again?
Yes,
Ajna has just written a
Ajna
book.
is, yeah, she is an absolute goddess wizard who's sharing more about her book, but also about how to scale a business. And really, like,
Mm,
what she focuses on is how to take your business from a cute, 5-figure or whatever business all the way up
mm,
to, 8, 9 figures. And so she
yeah.
really understands the business strategies, and she's going to be sharing some of that wisdom with all of you. And it's going to be absolutely incredible.
I love Ajna so much. I can't wait to read her book. And I was
Me
speaking,
too.
I was speaking to some, spent a lot of time with her at Living Brave Live recently. And it's funny
Yes.
because people would share, where they're at in a business. Her book is all about this business game. She talks about the different levels of it and how to break through to scale your business up in this massive way and create such huge impact. But it's funny that people would be sharing what they were experiencing in their business is the place where they felt like it was a bit sticky right now, where they would needed support. She's like, are you by any chance stuck at the 20 to 30K a month mark? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? She's like, read my book. But it's just phenomenal how
Yes, I love
she's
her.
so on it, and the way that she shares is so powerful too. I mean, all of the women in this space, but Arjun is my bestie, so I'll just put a special shout out
She's
to her.
incredible. You're lucky. We're lucky.
Yeah, we are. We've got Brittany coming in with the jewel of nourishment, redefining nourishment as the foundation and power of radiance. We've got Sherelle J is coming in. Some of you know Sherelle. She's doing presence for 7-figure brands. This woman's energy is absolute fire. Feeling back into your body to magnify your presence and impact. I had the pleasure of seeing Sherelle speak at an event recently, and this woman, she was in the theater. She's like such a great performer. Like her energy is immaculate, and honestly, she's going to blow your mind. We've got breathwork with Halle Bailey. Because, like I say, we don't just want to sit here and give you information overload. We want you moving your body. We want you really pulling this in. And so there are some more physical practices to join in with too. Obviously, I'm going to be there sharing the jewel of having it all. We've got
Yes.
the Samantha Joe coming in with the jewel of pleasure, about reclaiming pleasure as sacred power and awakening your divine feminine essence. We've got Debbie Lim. Debbie was on the podcast recently sharing the jewel of self expression, activating the power of your authentic voice and unapologetic truth. We have a twerk session. Oh my god, I can't wait for this
Yes.
with Rima. If you know me, you know I'm very experienced in twerking, and if you ever hang out with me in real life, you'll see I twerk a lot.
Oh my gosh, I have to see this. We need a sample. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, okay, let's go. So Rima's going to help you get back in your body and feminine essence with a twerk session, which I am so excited for. And then there's also a bonus panel discussion too. And like I say, we're already starting the party in the Telegram space where the speakers are coming
Yes.
in, dropping their magic, dropping some great freebies for you as well. So yeah, you want to join this space.
Yes, please join us. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So, so excited for the Queen Energy Leadership Summit. It's so
Oh,
awesome.
oh, oh my God, I'm so
Oh, wow.
excited.
Yes.
It's one of these things where just everyone in this lineup, I'm like, damn, I can't wait to be in this woman's energy. Damn, I can't wait to learn from her. So, yeah, all great, wonderful stuff.
Totally. Like, I feel like everyone is such a boss babe, and all of the speakers, like, I have personally witnessed their magic, and it is next level.
Yeah. Leigh-Anne, is there anything today that we haven't spoken about yet that you think would be really powerful to share with this audience?
Um, I just invite you, if you are in the corporate world, to share your magic and share your full authentic expression. And, whether that is, going to work one day wearing a sequin top and kind of breaking the corporate paradigms, whether that's burning your blazer for a couple days, whatever that looks like for you, whether, you're rocking the cheetah print or something for a day, whatever
Yeah.
makes you uniquely you. I challenge you to really bring that into your corporate space and just see how your world transforms, because the truth is, this world needs to know the real you. And people want to know
Mm,
the real you, and your performance and your clients and your life is going to 10x, 100x when you're able to bring all of you to your spaces. So I just
Yeah.
invite you to do that and share your magic because the world wants to hear you and
Yeah.
see you.
Amen. And if you are going to get involved and you're going to take Leigh-Anne up on this challenge, please do like drop into our DMs. Let us know, what did you do that was different? And when you do something different, like, then what happened? There's a knock-on effect of that. So yeah, I'd love to hear more on that. And Leigh-Anne, I know everyone is going to be so obsessed with you, with your story, with your real embodied queen energy and bringing all of these queens together in collaboration to pull off this incredible event. So how can people find out more about you, about working with you? What's proximity like in your world at the moment? What have you got coming up?
Amazing. Yeah. So you can check me out on Instagram. My handle is at frequency5D. Also, I'm on LinkedIn, Leigh-Anne Harrison. Right now, I have a mastermind. It's a 12-month inner circle, which is really all around the conversation of leadership, helping women step into their next level of leadership through mindset, through strategies, leadership, and embodiment communication. We're going to have a couple
Mm.
incredible events throughout the year, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and the sisterhood is just next level. And so if you're interested in that, you can DM me. And yeah, that's the main way to plug into my world, work with me. I'd love to hear from you, what's landing, like Katie said, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was such a gift to have you here. Thank you so much. I love this conversation.
Me too. Love you so much, and thank you.
I love you too. I'll see you on the 17th at the Queen Energy Leadership Summit.
Let's
Go hit the
go.
link in my bio. Go get your ticket, jump in the Telegram chat, get involved, and we will see you there. Mwah.
Bye. Mwah.
Bye.